everyone.
I'm a university lecturer, so
I'm sorry to interrupt your conversations. I promise you will have plenty of time to return to conversations in due course. Thank you for all coming tonight. As we gather here, it's wonderful that we're meeting like this, and I'll say a bit more about that in a moment. But first, I want to acknowledge that as we gather here, we are gathering on Wurundjeri country, and we pay our respects to the Wurundjeri elders, past and present, recognise their custodianship and sovereignty of this land, and recognise that this is land that has never been ceded. So we recognise that and pay our respects, and my respects to any First Nations people who are among us this morning, this afternoon, evening. So probably late in the day. Yes. Yeah. Can I say welcome to all of you? Welcome to those who are not regulars in this building, and to some from various levels of this building who are here. So there are people from the Uniting Church Synod offices, which are on this floor and a bit above, and people from Uniting and Uniting Age Well, and possibly U Ethical, I'm not sure. And welcome to other friends and guests who have come in to join in today. Special welcome to Amit. Thank you for your part in putting this together as Executive Director of the Australian Intercultural Society. So thank you for your part in doing this. This is the third time, I think it's the third time that we've met like this. I wasn't present for the first one. And the first one was actually an iftar meal. The second one came after Ramadan, so it was more of an Eid meal. This one is before Ramadan. There's some reasons for that, and I might make some comments about that later, but more or less it's still a great opportunity for us to share all together. As we gather, I do particularly want to acknowledge that this is a time of deep suffering in our communities and in the world. And it's leading to a lot of division amongst our communities, even locally, as we are all very aware. And we stand for peace, we stand for ceasefire. And here in particular, we stand together for actions towards building community, building mutual understanding, and building respect for one another. So we're here in that kind of vein. Part of the Uniting Church's vision statement is about seeking community, compassion, and justice. And this is part of sharing in community here. So I'm very glad that we are able to do this, even at such difficult times in the world. In the period of Lent, which for us is 40 days leading up to Easter, it's actually 40 days plus Sundays, which makes it about, 47 days or something. And in fact, I learnt last night that for the Mar Thoma Syrian Church, they actually have 50 days of Lent prior to Easter. So it does vary amongst some of our traditions, but in the tradition that we belong to, or the traditions that the Uniting Church belongs to, this is a 40-day period where we are reflecting on Jesus' journey to the cross. And really the highlight of that period, or the deepest part of that period, is when we enter into Holy Week. After Jesus enters into Jerusalem, we celebrate that on the Sunday before Easter. And then through Holy Week, we reflect on the events that occur in Jerusalem, leading to the Last Supper that Jesus shares with his friends, and then his betrayal and crucifixion, and then on the third day, resurrection. So it's quite an emotional roller coaster for us, actually, through that time. And part of the reflection to kind of pick up some of the themes that you've spoken about, there are the themes of Jesus meeting with his friends. And there are also the themes of facing violence and death and what that means, and that Jesus is prepared to do so and enter into that, which calls us to reflect on how do we respond when this is what happens in the world. And then there's that wonder of Easter morning, and for me, after that roller coaster, the Sunday morning of Easter, which I've often been to a dawn service to celebrate, is just a time of wonder. It's a new dawn. Now what do we do? And perhaps there are some elements of that in all of our reflection. We have community together. We face the hard things of the world together, and we look to new dawns. And now what can we do? So thank you for sharing today.